Yeah.
All right. Gosh. So we're excited about Rackets.
I have one comment.
Is it going to forward the conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't always be on time every time.
Yes, that's correct. What you can't always be on time every time. What you can do though is be in communication and say, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. I'm going to honor that agreement. The 10 minutes being 10 minutes. That's still having integrity.
Oh, so I should have texted you? Wait, what am I saying wrong? What am I saying wrong?
There's no wrong here.
What?
There is no wrong.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong?
Now, first of all, you can't be yelling out of your seat though, because we've got people translating,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Okay, so who's your group leader? Brian. Got a lot of work to do.
Brian, was I not on time today on our call?
All right, so let's not.
Thank you.
All right, so
Boom.
one of us leading the seminar. All right, some of you noticed, okay, that sometimes, have you noticed this, that when you go to work on one of your complaints, that you can't find where you're being inauthentic? Yeah, okay. And you haven't been able to get certain complaints to disappear. Yes? So who's had that experience in the last couple of weeks? Can't find the inauthenticity or the complaints won't disappear. Yeah, that's what tonight's about. What we're going to do is we're going to work on one of the most fundamental distinctions of the Landmark Forum that's going to give you access to disappearing complaints every single time. So we're going to go to work with the distinction racket. All right, so consider that your persistent complaints are part of what you say is unwanted and yet persists. Your complaints are part of your racket. Say that again, okay? Your persistent complaints are part of what comes out of your mouth. What you say is unwanted and yet persists. What lingers. Your complaints are part of your racket. And in the Landmark Forum, you begin to know yourself as a racketeer. Yes? So we're going to review the structure of a racket. And we're going to have the production team flip the board. Thank you. Okay. So we said that a racket is anything that's unwanted and yet persists. Anything. And it's a reaction to a real or imagined threat. What's a real threat? What's that? Gunfire? Oh, fire. Okay. So you're standing there and there's all of a sudden something blows up and there's fire. You might get burnt, yes? Yeah, that's a real threat. What's an imagined threat?
Being scared.
Yes, great. It's inauthentic. Okay? A fire might happen one day, that's an imagined threat. Yeah, good. Okay? Yeah, I'm repeating what they're saying. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So this is the structure of a racket, and it's invariant. Invariant means it's never changing. And a racket is defined as what you say is unwanted yet persists. And your complaints, as we said, what's that reading? Are almost certainly part of your racket. So with each racket, you can see that we said that they're payoffs. Payoffs, you get to be right about something or someone. Or you're making somebody wrong, or making a situation wrong. Another payoff is dominate or avoid domination. You dominate others. Dominate Yourself. Avoid domination. Who are you avoiding domination from, right? And then you justify yourself. And when you justify yourself, you invalidate others. And then somebody gets to win. Somebody gets to lose. Okay? And the ultimate payoff out of why this is done, why human beings do this, every human being has rackets. Why we do this is to avoid responsibility. That's the ultimate payoff. Okay? Yeah, okay. Make sure I'm getting everything. Now with every racket there's a what? Yeah, cost. So the cost of running rackets it's rarely fully present for people. You see, we'll do the payoff, but we don't spend a lot of time in the cost, because if we spent time in the cost, we wouldn't do the payoff. So the costs of running rackets are always, it costs us love or affinity for someone. Rackets cost us our vitality. And in the long run, it costs us our well-being. And rackets cost us our self-expression. And another cost of running a racket is our satisfaction, and over time, our fulfillment and our experience of being fulfilled in life. And the ultimate cost is aliveness. So with the payoff, it's avoiding responsibility, and the ultimate cost is aliveness. So, your rackets are a pretense. What does pretense mean? Not you, Justin. Assumption. What else? Do we know what pretense means? Okay, Justin, what's pretense mean?
It's what comes before.
Yes, it's what comes before. It's also what? It's like make-believe, fraudulent, fake, sham. Your rackets are a pretense. They are completely inauthentic. What you say is unwanted and yet persists is a lie. Let me tell you this, ready? Rackets are a pretense and a lie because they are never actually about what you say is unwanted and yet persists. Rackets are a pretense and a lie because they are never actually about what you say is unwanted and yet persists. You run rackets because you get a payoff. And you're willing to pay the cost. Of course, rackets aren't bad. Are rackets bad? Are rackets wrong? Rackets, they're not bad or wrong, but rackets, you gotta get, they just kill off aliveness. And they're counterproductive to living a life of excellence, living a life of possibility. So take the case that any complaint that you've been unable to make disappear as you did the assignment is part of a racket. So if you still have a complaint, it's part of a racket. So I want to work with one of you with one of the complaints that you haven't been able to disappear. Okay, someone that has worked on the assignment, and we're going to get into the distinction racket, okay? Who wants to come up? Come on up. What, were you here last session? Okay. I would, okay, got it? Good, all right, thank you. All right, who was here last session? This was great training for me too. That did the assignment, attempted to do the assignment, and they couldn't have one of their complaints disappear for them. That would like to come up and walk them through a racket. I see some of you like looking down. All right, who wants to hold on to your racket? Anybody want to keep your rackets? Oh, okay, hold on. So who wants to keep the racket? All right, if you don't want to keep it, who's going to come up? All right, great.
It feels weird. You know, like
What's weird?
standing up here, like I'm a little nervous. Something came out last week.
Hold on a second, yeah. Okay. So, what's your complaint? Okay, so I might coach you on this, okay? When you're sharing, you wanna be concise, not a lot of story and all that. This is for everybody. So what's your complaint that you haven't been able to disappear?
Feeling alone.
Okay? And how long have you had that complaint?
Years. And it's been abroad, like not just personal, but work and the reason why I think I lost the studio.
So how many years?
I can't even remember everything like in years, but it could.
Can you guys hear her?
I'm trying to figure it out. 15 years?
15.
I think I just 25 just popped up, and 29 was the real feeling of lonely. 29 years old.
And you're 30 now, right?
40.
I knew that, that's why I said that.
Like, should I be?
She doesn't look 40, I swear to God. So, I'm alone.
Yes.
That's unwanted and has been going on, persisting for 15 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Feels like it just went on its own to hover over not only personal but friends, family, and business after all these years. So that came up last week really big when I thought I was working on it and put a light on it. And I went off into that back to the defense mechanism of like, I don't feel like I'm part of something. I feel like I'm back again on my own, defending myself, fighting warrior type of thing. And I caught myself in a racket.
Yeah.
And it was like right there. And
Well, let's look, okay? So, you know, piggybacking off of last week's assignment from turning a complaint to a possibility, we're saying tonight that your complaint is part of a racket. And there is some inauthenticity there with regard to saying you're alone. There's something that you're pretending that you're either hiding it, this is for everybody, hiding, pretending, or not acknowledging.
And this is why I feel like, how did it creep up on me? Because you feel like you are doing work. So when it creeps up, you're like, oh, I didn't even know I was still hiding. Because I honestly know I've been really putting the work, being present, showing up, and all the things that we talked about. So when something does creep up, you're like, oh wow, another door, I have to go in there again, and I thought it was open. And I think it's more of that habit of getting back into that, like, aware, defense mechanism that's worked for you for all those years, right? So, inauthenticity seems still kind of like, what do you mean when you're like, I did open all the doors, you think you did. So, it's part of that muscle that we need to continue to work on, because if not, it'll go back to what it used to be. So that's just coming up right now. Like,
Okay, so let's just back up right again. You didn't answer the question.
somewhere where I've been still inauthentic.
Yeah, so,
And I'm like, I thought I was.
okay,
Right.
yeah. So, what's it like being alone? What's the experience of yourself?
Exhausting.
Okay,
Really aloneness, even though you're crowded with people around you. And I don't know why. It's like, but I don't know, that's what's coming up. Like feeling, it sucks to feel those. So he's like, I'm just gonna do it myself, or get defensive and be like, call people out on it. You know, and that's like my strength, to be like pointing things out.
okay,
So maybe that's,
so you ready?
yeah.
I want you to look at the board. Actually, you know what, Jason, can you bring that microphone up? I want her to come over here. So come over here. So Joe, look at the board. Right? And you guys, when you're distinguishing a racket, it's just as simple. Okay, I want you to look at the left side.
The payoff?
Yeah. I want you to look in this that column.
Do I relate to any of these? The payoff is out.
I'm not saying do you. You do. You do. That's why you're stuck.
So if I'm denying being this, because I could really humbly say, I can understand each and every one of those payoffs, because I felt it, yes. So I can't say, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, so which payoffs are, I mean, what do you see with regards to
What's happening?
the, yeah, you said, I'm alone. Okay, your racket, I'm alone.
Mhm.
So you wanna stay inside the distinction and work on the payoff. So what are your payoffs? What do you see?
What comes up is dominate. And some be right.
Okay. All right. So say more about the both of them. Okay. So dominate. Talk to me about that. I mean, how do you
Or avoid domination, right? It's the same thing.
So who are you dominating?
The people who said I couldn't do it are trying to dominate the people who didn't think I would be able to do it. So to try to,
Yes.
does that make sense?
No.
Okay. No one comes up like specific. Who am I trying to dominate? I don't have like a specific image of someone or a party or a group of people. So maybe dominate is
So
not
maybe
the word.
yeah, maybe dominate's not not there for you. You know.
Right.
Look some more.
Yeah. Justify. To justify myself. I lived with I lived for a long time on damage control. Like, no, that's not what I meant. No, let me explain to you what I really meant, because I didn't think before I did things. So I was always trying to justify why I did the things that I did. And I think that's when I realized, oh my God, nobody wants to work with me. So I always wanted to justify why I did that.
I don't know what you're sharing.
Yeah, I'm trying to
So-
figure it out.
Who are you justifying yourself? Right? So justifying
Yeah,
you.
yeah, so like, right. yeah, trying to make myself feel just, like trying to make myself not be that racket.
You know, I'm hearing too, ready? Because you're blaming somebody else or something else. You're justifying, what you're saying is you're justifying your actions or whatever, and there's blame on someone else. Or something
Yeah,
else.
it was always someone else's fault, and because of them, it was poor me, victim me, totally, like 15 years ago.
Yeah, but with regard to today,
But it lingered on.
for 15 years.
Mhm. It had already worked its way through my life, so back here, that I just became like, okay, well, it's not for me yet, or it's not time yet, and I kind of kept going forward instead of fixing those people. So I kept those people that it's confusing.
No, you got it. Okay, so what's the other one? You said being.
Being right always kind of felt good,
What are you being right about?
right now, looking back to what I had right now, it was like, you see, I was right. I am able to be and make it and do something and haha type of thing. And it was so back here.
Now hold on a second. So you're saying that you're all alone, okay?
Yeah.
What are you being right about that racket?
There's I'm all up in my head right now, so I can't.
Yes, you can. Just stay there. This is what the brain does. It starts to say, what's going on here? You're interrupting a brain pattern right now.
Can you repeat the question?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is hard.
No, okay, so what are you being right about? It's about someone else, it's being right about a situation, it's being right about you.
The payoff was to be right. So the payoff was, it feels good to be right. So my racket of being alone, my payoff was, I am alone and I still did it alone, so it made me be right. That was the payoff, that I felt like I knew I was right and I can do this alone. So no, I don't need your help anyways, right? So it was like
You're being right
drive.
that I don't need you?
It was like a drive,
Why do you keep saying was?
because I don't feel like that anymore.
Well, then why are we talking about this racket right now?
Because it happened last week. I felt alone again last week in a specific situation that I felt like, here I go again. I'm gonna have to do this by myself,
Okay.
and I'm gonna prove that I can do it right, and I
Okay.
don't need anybody anyways. And it came up very alive.
Yeah, so let's keep it to last week.
Right.
You've had it for
Well,
15
because-
years.
Right.
The last time you ran that racket was last week.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay.
And I went on to I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I went back. I think the
No, you wanna look now, okay, ready? What's it costing you?
I didn't even know this part. Like, I didn't even know it was costing me love or affinity.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, that's what we're getting right now,
Right.
So it's costing you what?
Love and affinity.
Anything else?
Time. It's costing me time. Wasting time.
Time's not over there.
I know, but so I don't. Got it. Well-being. That's well-being. It's pretty much everything. Well-being. It's everything.
she's getting the impact. Yeah. That's great. What's there for you?
Growth, like room for growth, and what's there for me is awareness of like this. And it's not just something on a board, it's real, it's life, it just happened. So it is real. It's not just it's costing. It's a cost, it's a value.
So here's great, so cost isn't bad, just a cost.
Well, there's value in it, no?
Well, so funny the questions you ask.
Sorry.
When you can experience the payoff as the payoff, and the cost is the cost, which you just have, and you got the impact, you can start creating something new. Yeah. You can give up that view that you have that I'm alone. You can give up being right about that. Remember a couple sessions ago we did view? You have a point of view. Are you willing to be responsible for?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like why I'm here.
Okay.
I think the big impact, or what I've learned from last week to today, has been not to hide from it.
Well, I'm talking about right now.
Right now, I'm not hiding, I'm totally exposed right now. So I'm like,
Yeah, the question, are you willing to be responsible for this?
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
See, when we take responsibility for a racket, then something can be created newly. A racket doesn't run you. Right now this racket's been running her for 15 years. Nope. No side conversations.
Well, she has to
Nope. It's gonna take us all the way over
Yeah.
here. All right, and so so you get to create a possibility around this. Something that inspires you. Possibility of being one. I got here with them. Let's just get here with them.
I'm trying to think the possibility of I don't know. I can tell you a million things of being more open, being more understanding, and opening more to other people's perspectives. I mean, there's a bunch of things that I can tell you right now that they are here right now. They're here. I think we don't catch them until it happens after. I think when we're trying to get that muscle strong.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
The possibility of being
Open, more perceptive towards that alone feeling. I don't know. Keep working. The possibility of
you're the inventor.
yeah.
Remember when you were a kid and you were like, oh, I love
Creating.
color crayons and I love running through dandelions or whatever, jumping on your bike. Do you guys remember those times? Did you ever go,
So being-
I don't know. No, there wasn't like that, right? You were an inventor and a creator.
So creating, that's a big word. possibility.
Give all that up. There's this whole possibility. My gosh. Allow yourself to create something.
Yeah. Right? The possibility of creating something that's, okay.
Possibility of being what?
Open, more,
Not more.
the possibility of being, I don't know. I honestly, I'm thinking.
Okay, so if you were, great, okay, so if you were being open,
Yeah,
what does that look like? What would be possible?
just more understanding,
No.
or not be so defensive.
That's just more of,
Okay, so I really don't understand. I'm trying to find the word. I don't know.
so just look, okay, ready? If you're being open, the
Right.
possibility of being open, and we saw Joe being open, walking around and being open, what would we see?
Happy.
What?
Yeah.
You see, it's just like a shift for you.
Really?
Yeah. No, you were being, what does being happy look like for you?
Relax. Just happy. Easy. Understood.
You're not alone. Awesome. Great work. Thank you. Great. Good job, Joe. Who's got a racket? Racket. Come on up. Xochitl? If I'm saying that correctly. Xochitl?
Yeah.
Xochitl. Okay, do you need a Spanish translator?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Hey, well, welcome. This is your first time at Mike, right? Right, great. Okay. So what's your complaint that you haven't been able to disappear?
Well, I have too many records with my husband and no is happened yet. He is like, we get married, we go a list, we had a list, he promised many things and we get a list to get through. And in 4 years, there's nothing happened to the list. So he works is no, there's no work.
Okay, so let me just see if I can recreate what you said. So you and your husband created a list, and the things that are on that list that you created for the two of you, he's not keeping his agreement with you, his word with you?
Yes, correct.
Okay, gotcha. So what is your complaint? What is it that you say specifically?
Well, my complaint is he not keep his word. And always he left everything for the last minute and pay the bills late. For all this time I married him and I married him so much. And I feel stuck with him.
You feel what?
Stuck,
Oh, stuck with him, okay.
yeah. And I have to help to him. He's supposed to support me. We have to support together, but I think I help more him than he's doing to me.
What's the last one he's doing more harm?
Like I had to help him pay the bills. I had to help to pay we had the only thing in the list we did was to have a baby after 5 years to marry, you know.
Okay.
And it's the only one coming after I get married. So it's only,
Okay, so pretty much what you're saying and, you know, I'm just gonna throw this out there and you tell me this, your husband's not keeping his word, is that the complaint?
Yeah,
Okay, alright, got it. And how long is, you said 4 years or any, is it 4 years? Okay,
Yeah.
how long have you been running that racket? I mean, when's the last time you ran the racket?
almost every day.
Every day, for 4
Yeah.
years?
Yes. Yes. I complain too much to him, and
I gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Right, great, so, well, I really acknowledge you for coming up here after 4 years and getting this complete for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, alright, so, do you wanna come over here with the microphone?
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk you through it. So, we said that that we run rackets to get a payoff. And our rackets are inauthentic, right? So there's an inauthenticity you have in that racket that you're running.
In intensity.
Well, yeah, I just wanna say that there's an inauthenticity that you have. And your payoff, right, so
Yeah.
rackets are always about the payoff.
Well,
Like I say, I am 30 pounds overweight, but it's not about, my racket's not about the weight, it's about the payoff I get. I don't have to be responsible for my weight. I don't have to do what it takes to, you know, be the size that I want or whatever, to be healthy.
yeah, I want to be healthy.
Well, no. All right, that's another racket, right? Okay, so just, I want you to look from here. What's your what are your payoffs?
I think.
What are you getting out of hanging on to this racket? What are your payoffs?
Well, possible, I want to be right. Always I want to have always I tell him, I'm right, you're wrong, you know.
So you make them wrong, you're saying?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And what are you being right about?
Everything. I make it right everything.
So what would be like, I mean, what, you gotta get on the court, okay, everything is like a concept. So on the court, what are you being right about?
Well, I want to understand that because always
You're
I,
being right about something about your husband. So my husband doesn't keep his word, yes?
no,
No, I got that, yeah. Your husband doesn't keep his word, and you're being right about something about your husband.
well, here's something right about my husband, is, he is more like, he's always cooking.